I wanted to talk today about embracing your art style and just loving the art that you create and appreciating the art that you do and how you can share that with the world. And I hope you join me. I think the way I'm going to do this video is I'm going to give some tips to myself. If I was starting over, I was super hard on myself at the beginning. And so these tips are tips to myself if I could go back. And the first tip I would have would be stop comparing yourself to others. You don't need to be like other people. You don't need to draw like other people. You can find your own unique style. And just because it doesn't look like everyone else's doesn't mean it's no good. If you stop comparing yourself to others and just embracing the fun that you had in creating the art, that it becomes easier to continue on and you have less anxiety when it comes to doing it. That's my first tip, is to stop comparing yourself to others. Enjoy the process and have fun with it. Once you stop comparing yourself to others, something happens and you release yourself of any obligation to create something for someone else and you start creating for yourself and it becomes fun. That's my first tip. I think deep down, I've never felt that my art was good enough ever. And maybe it is because I never went to art school and there was a time where I really wanted to go. But honestly, at this point, I'm really glad I didn't go to art school. I learned in my own way, and through trial and error, I found my own style, a style that brings me joy and makes me happy. So sometimes not getting what you want is good for you. My second tip for embracing your own art style is looking at lots and lots and lots of different art. And once you start looking at lots of different art, and I don't mean the art on social media, and I don't mean to be hard on social media, I think sometimes we forget there is amazing, quirky, different, odd, wobbly art out there that we are not going to see on social media. Okay, so once you start exploring the, artists, other artists and their artwork, whether it's from the past or current artists that you can find somewhere other than your typical social media, you're going to see so many incredible different things out there, and it's going to be really exciting. You can also look at the masterpieces from the past. I love this book. And you can see how they created. Maybe their stuff isn't photorealism, is it? They're telling a story in their artwork. And so I like looking at art from the past as well. Get yourself some books that teach you how to draw, okay? Like, look at this. This is super fun and I can't wait to try this. But there are so many great books out there, and they don't necessarily have to be art books if you don't want them to be art books. Another book that I have is this garden book with notes in it. But look at that. Look at the art in this garden book. So if you follow along, you know that I'm on... that I go to thrift stores and I love looking at books in thrift stores. But look at this amazing art in an old book that was never meant to really be an art book. But again, you're embracing different types of artwork and looking different types of artwork up. So that's my second tip. Don't be afraid to look at books instead of social media. Let's go old school and find some amazing books in thrift stores or secondhand stores or online and just explore and see what we can find and what you love. Because you're going to find some really different and interesting artwork that maybe you've never seen before that really inspires you to try something new. And you might see something that's similar to your own art style. And that's going to just push you forward to keep creating. My next tip for embracing your own art style is to draw and paint and do different things, try different styles, have a different art journal for different things. This art journal I have is going to be for these interesting little figures, and I want to fill up a whole art book with these interesting little figures. But I also draw on old book pages of books that were ruined. I'm not ruining any new books. These are old books that had pages ripped out, but I am trying different ways to paint and create on them. Like I did this one last year and I kept it. I don't always keep my artwork, but I kept this one because it's going to inspire me for this year. So you can just try different materials, different art materials, different papers, different ways to, pencils, pens, paint, watercolor, acrylics. Try different things to see what you like. I think one of the best ways to embrace your own art style is to see what comes up when you're doing that. The next tip I have is celebrate the small wins. Celebrate one or two things in something that you've done that you really like. This was a super fun drawing to do. And if you notice, I forgot to draw the chair here. But you know what? The people that have been watching my videos, they embraced it. They didn't give me a real hard time because I forgot the chair. You know, mistakes happen, but it's all part of your art. The other thing is like, if I'm to look at this, what's one thing I really like about this piece? I think I like that I told a bit of a story here and I like this dog. So you can take something maybe didn't turn out exactly how you want and find one thing that you really like that you can create the next time. And not every painting you do is going to be a win, and that's okay. Like this one's all right. It's not my best work, but you know what? It's okay because every drawing you do is not going to be a masterpiece. But you can find one or two things that you like. Like I like the bow and I like that I added sparkle here. I didn't like this blue part, but hey, again, that's okay. Just find one thing that you like. I loved doing this. I really enjoyed the process. This squirrel made me crazy. So difficult to draw the squirrel, which is surprising. I thought the fox would be more difficult. I love how the bear came out. Not a fan of the blue in the background. But, if you can come back and say, what's one thing you really liked about your art? For me, it's the rabbit with the little red scarf. And I like the details here. Drawing animals is very difficult, so I'm super proud of how that one came out. Again, with the cats, I feel like I could have done way better with these cats, but I love how this one came out, and I love the writing at the bottom in French. The birds was a fun one. I had a real challenge with this hawk, and I had a real challenge with this bird looking down. But if you're not trying, you're never going to improve, and it's going to be hard to embrace your own art if you're not actually creating art. So you have to create, and then once you've created, find one or two things that you really liked about the artwork that you created. Not everything's going to be a win. I really didn't care for either one of these ladies, but I was like, wow, look, I drew a man. That was really, really hard to do. So that's my, I think that's tip number 4, is just to find one or two things in every drawing, if you can, that you liked or that you feel that you made progress in. That helps you embrace your art style, and it helps you push yourself outside of your comfort zone too. Because if you're not beating yourself up about, this whole artwork is horrible, I suck as an artist. No, you don't. It's all part of your journey. And if you can find one little thing that you like, then you know what? That's a win right there. Keep going. Keep drawing. Don't be afraid to try new things and find inspiration in the strangest places, because that's just an expression of who you are. Your art is basically an extension of yourself. And if you're not embracing that, then you're kind of like, giving yourself a hard time. And why do that? Life is hard enough. Pick up a pencil or some paint and get started on your art journey today, and just love every moment of it. Love one or two things that you've created and keep on drawing. I want to thank you guys so much for your continued support and beautiful comments. And I look forward to creating more videos for you to watch and join me on this journey. I love hearing that people are drawing along with me. I don't know, it just gives me a sense of joy and happiness, and it encourages me to continue putting these videos out. So I want to thank you so much for joining me, and happy sketching.